Being a TV news producer is tricky business. It's constant decision making, communication, and collaboration. It's often hard to describe what I do daily, especially to people who've never been in a control room. This video is meant to not only showcase parts of a newscast I'm proud of, but to also explain what's happening behind the scenes that a viewer doesn't get to see. We knew a few things going in. We knew the Israeli Prime Minister was going to speak before a joint meeting of Congress. We knew protests were planned, but that's about it. So let's watch a bit of the newscast and I'll explain my role in what you're seeing.
Good Wednesday afternoon, and thanks for joining us. I'm Del Walters, live in Atlanta. For the next 2 hours, we will take you everywhere you need to be, and we will do so live. Right now, the action is taking place on Capitol Hill, both inside and outside the chambers. Right now,
Less than 5 minutes before air, I chose the live elements to put in this box, as well as typed in what the viewer was seeing. At the same time I'm making these decisions, I'm communicating them with the technical director, who was responsible for taking it live. I'm also letting my anchor know in his ear what's coming.
In Washington, D.C., the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, moments away from addressing a joint session of Congress.
For the forces of civilization to triumph, America and Israel must stand together.
Taking the speech live for its duration was the easiest decision. It's what came after that was more difficult. The protests ramped up.
The Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, addressing that joint meeting of Congress. As you can see, it was a split-screen moment as he addressed Congress outside the chamber. Protesters and pepper spray. Let's take these images for you right now. That is near Union Station.
As the anchor talks over these live pictures, I'm working with my team in the control room to decide what's next.
A lot of these instances is because of the numerous profanities that are being shouted at police. Let's keep an eye on what is going on there.
We're communicating with our correspondent who's in our DC studio to try to give our anchor in Atlanta someone to riff with. And we're also watching the situation unfold live.
Our congressional correspondent, Nathaniel Reed, has also been keeping tabs on everything. And Nate, we're going to let these images play, but your thoughts on the fact that I think it is the Park Police and so far the Capitol Police saying arrests have been made. Do we have an accurate count as to how many people might have been arrested?
We're starting to get some of an idea. And to be clear, it seems like the protesting, was largely kind of in the background for much of the speech. But now as it ends, this is where, things appear to have turned outside the Capitol. And to be clear, that Union Station just north of the U.S. Capitol, north of the Senate side of the Capitol. So actually, decently far from where Netanyahu currently is. He's still in the House chamber, glad-handing, shaking hands with members of the House and the Senate.
This, by the way, was Netanyahu's first time.
On this day, we had a correspondent with a planned story about the war in Gaza. We made a decision in the moment to allow him to provide his much-needed reporting, but also weave in live video about what was unfolding about the war in Gaza in Washington.
Our international correspondent Jason Bellini is live for us in Washington. He has been watching all of this as well. Jason, we were watching the live feed coming out of Israel as Netanyahu was speaking. It appears many people left well before the speech was over. Is that an indication as to how divided the Israeli people are with this prime minister?
Well, yes, they are certainly divided. We've known that since the very beginning. I was in Israel right after the October 7th attack. And even then, you had hostage families that were putting pressure on their president to try to get these hostages back, make that the first priority.
Spokesperson Karine Jean-Pierre at the podium, so let's take a listen.
We respect the right for all Americans to peacefully protest. Peacefully protest. And obviously, we will continue to strongly condemn any form of violence as it relates certainly to protesting or destruction of property. We've been very, very clear. But Americans have the right to peacefully protest. Anything that is related to what's happening outside of this campus, the fencing, as you just mentioned to me, that's something for Secret Service to speak to directly.
I want to reiterate how much constant decision-making, communication, and collaboration is happening behind the scenes. Each newscast is a team effort with me, the line producer, executing a vision in real time. Thanks for watching.